Hey everybody, welcome back. And today I've got something that I've been waiting for a few days, which is Fans Toys FT-32 Gehry. Just got it in my hands from our mail lady today and super excited to do an unboxing and kind of a first impression of this figure. So let's get at it. So here we've got the figure in its box. It's just pretty much a standard run-of-the-mill Fans Toys box with some really nice artwork on the front, as they always do. It's a fairly large box. It's probably, it looks about 6 inches by 6 inches wide and deep by 12 inches long. So fairly large box. I know this is a fairly large figure. You can see the front of the artwork. I really love the way Fans Toys names some of their figures. So this one I can only imagine is probably named after Frank Gehry, which was an architect, which kind of makes sense because this figure is their interpretation of Scrapper, which was the architect or the leader of the Constructicon. So kind of a clever use of the name there. So let's go ahead and get him open. So we can see in typical fashion the kind of standard Fans Toys packaging, which has the styrofoam container in it with the FT-32A labeling on it, instructions, and the card. Let's go ahead and get this guy open. I always get confused with opening these up because I never know if I'm opening up from the rear or the front on the figure. And I always want to be careful not to lose any of the pieces as I open them. So, okay, here we go. So, wow, really, first impression, this guy is fairly large. I never really thought of the Scrapper character being that large in relation to some of the other Masterpiece scaled figures. You can see he's got some of his backpack stuff, which aids in the alt mode for forming the leg of Devastator. So we've got that piece there. It's really heavy. It feels like there's probably some die cast in there. This top piece right here looks to be die cast if I, yeah, definitely die cast if I tap it. And then we've got the figure here. As we can see, we've got the trumpet accessory, which this actually is really cool. It's actually metal. It's not cheap plastic. Very nice, really cool piece there. And then separately, we've got his pistol. So really cool pistol. It has almost a black metallic color to it. Overall, the entirety of the figure, if we look at it really close, there's a bit of a metallic sheen to it. So a really cool picture, or a really cool figure, sorry. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. So overall, looking at this guy, he's actually really heavy, a really solid looking figure. I know, looking at him right off the bat, I know probably a lot of people are curious about the waist swivel. So I know there's been discussions online about whether or not this guy has a waist swivel. And in his bot mode, the sculpt as it's designed to be in bot mode, his waist does not swivel. you know, it's actually, well, no, there is a very small amount of swivel, but not much. So if we look at them up close here, so you can get, I don't know, I'd say between 5 and 10 degrees of swivel each way. Now, I have seen a couple videos online where people have swung out these wheels on the back, and when you do that, it kind of frees up the rest for him to be able to kind of do a little bit more of a swivel. But for me, that really doesn't count because that breaks the sculpt a good bit if we try to do that. And I just don't think that really counts as a true waist swivel. He does have a lot of backpack here. I've seen a couple of videos where folks have actually expanded the bucket on the front loader to make it, you know, the true width, to make it more toy accurate, I guess, of how it was, you know, in the original G1 toy. He's got a good amount of articulation, it looks. His arms swing up. We get full rotation at the shoulder. We get full rotation at the bicep. We get good angle on the arms. The head, we get a little bit of look up. Just a tad of look down, but not a whole lot. And he does swivel all the way around. As I've mentioned, there is some waist swivel here. We don't get a whole lot of up here. If you notice, there's a little tab right here, and so we can only get his leg up about that far. If we look at the hip skirts, so you can get his leg that much up, and you can get it a little bit back, but this part of the top of the cab and the alt mode for the front loader is right there and blocks it from going any further. And we do get a little bit of swivel here. We've got some ankle tilt. The wheels are made of rubber, so really cool looking. Most of this guy, it looks like he's painted. You know, I don't see a lot of just colored plastic on him. It does look like there's really a good bit of paint. If we look at his hands, so we've got kind of the typical Fans Toys articulation in the fingers. He does turn. So really just standard Fans Toys articulation there. So overall, I mean, he's a really cool looking figure. I've been waiting for this one quite a bit. You know, I'm just gonna, this is probably not the best comparison, but I'm gonna do him a comparison of next to X-Transbot's long haul. And you can see he's a good bit taller. I always envisioned long haul being kind of one of the larger of the Constructicons, long haul and Hook as well. Just because both of them form the central upper and lower torso of Devastator, and just figured those guys being a little bit bigger than the legs and limbs. So, but overall, a really cool figure. We can see his height. I'm just going to do a little bit of a measurement here. He's a little bit over 9 inches tall, just a hair over 9 inches tall. So really a gigantic figure compared to what I expected it to be. But I think that's pretty much it. You know, I was, like I said, really excited to get this figure, excited to complete this set and see how they've got the engineering set up to build Devastator out of all of these Constructicons. I know I've seen a lot of videos that show him in his combined mode with the leg, and it looks to me like the direction that Fans Toys is going is they're not going to have that final figure that's going to have a lot of parts forming to form, you know, some sort of a base or something like they did with Superion. And actually Long Haul and Hook will form the core piece of the upper and lower torso. And these guys, the limbs will connect directly into those instead of having kind of a central frame that, you know, the main bot goes into and that the limbs and legs connect. So really excited to see how they continue with this and what the finished product is going to look like. If anything, just going by the size right now, it looks like it's probably going to be a little bit bigger than the X Transbots version. And so I'm really excited to see what they do with this. So um, again, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.